Good morning from beautiful Brisbane, Australia. How are you this morning? It's wonderful to have you here with me. I've got some really good information for you this morning. Information that I went looking for yesterday because I haven't had it before and I haven't been able to find it in this format. So what I want you to be able to do today is just relax and remember that you can replay the video at any time. Welcome to everybody who's new today. My name's Linda. I'm a trauma recovery coach and I work in recovery, from recovery to remission. And I believe that you need to have all the information available so that you can take it to your specialist, to your therapist, to your trauma coach, and work with them on personalised strategies for you. Okay, now yesterday I was sitting here and it was a massive day. There were so many things happening on an interpersonal level with clients, with group online and so much more. And as I'm working through my day, all of a sudden I realised that my emotions were they were just totally in overwhelm. So it wasn't the trigger. So you know when we get triggered and we're having a panic attack, and everything is like we're literally hyperventilating, okay? We can't breathe, we're perspiring, we can feel the fear, it's just like so palpable in our day-to-day life. Well, emotional dysregulation is different to that. We're sitting in the emotions and they are powerfully overwhelming, and for me, it was like this whole mishmash was going on, with emotions coming from left, right and centre, and then they're mixing in together and then they're going off left, right and centre, and I'm like, oh my goodness, what on earth is this? And I remembered that I'd read about emotional dysregulation, and in day-to-day terms it means basically that we have been triggered, and from the neurological perspective our brain's going, it's like the old, warning Will Robinson, the robots running around going, whoa, wait, what? So the warning's not as bad as, let's say, when we've been really triggered into panic attacks, but the warning system has gone off and the emotions are dysregulating. Now the difference is also that when we work with the dysregulation, we recognise two things. One, it comes from we didn't learn it in our childhood due to our adverse childhood experiences, whatever they were. And so we as parents get to teach our children how to emotionally regulate. But also the other thing is it's part of the complex PTSD reparenting ourselves. But it's also being able to sit here and go, okay, I was sitting here going, why is this happening? I am actually happy within myself. And then I went, okay, I need to sit down and work out how to regulate these emotions that are going off the Richter scale. So it's managing them, not having to shove them down, not having to ignore them, and just accepting that this is part of our recovery to remission process, all right? And it's not bad, it just is what it is. And so I went looking and I found an acronym called FREEDOM. And won't it be wonderful to be free of it? And when I sat and read this and I put into place what was happening for me in that experience, all of a sudden everything seemed to start making sense. So as you can write this down, and remember to go back and replay the video if you need to, but I want you to, when the emotional dysregulation happens, remember the FREEDOM acronym and go, right, I can be free of this. I've just got to teach myself and my mind how to work through this one step at a time. And the other thing too, when we get triggered, our perception goes offline. There's a few things that aren't available to us immediately, and it's our perception. So before you do this work, hang on, this way, before you do this work, ground yourself, all right? It's really important to be grounded. Otherwise, all of this is just going to be too overwhelming on top of why you've been triggered, okay? So grounding first, and I will go through and find the grounding meme that I normally share with you, but we're going to assume for now that we've done our grounding exercises, we're present, we can breathe slowly, deeply and feel comfortable, and now I'm going to look at why the overwhelmed happened and how I can regulate those emotions. So the first word is focusing. It says concentrate on a single idea grounded in our core values and sense of authentic self. So when we do that and we go, I kept this really super simple for me yesterday because it was the first time I'd done it. And I said, okay, what is the core value of who I am? And I went, you know what? Let's keep this ultra simple and use the word focusing. So I have the ability to focus. It is a value inside of me that I actually appreciate about myself, that I have the ability to be hyper-focused. And so I went, concentrating on that, then it made the overwhelm just sit to the side a bit better. And I went, yeah, I am focused. Now, core values are different for each of us, and sometimes our core values can be things like patience, okay? I have developed the ability to have a lot of patience, even if I don't think I have. The reality is, I know I have, okay? It comes over time. But sit down. If you haven't done core values, sit down and do your core values, okay? So the next one was recognizing. So I want to sit here and I want to pay attention and identify what is triggering the alarm reaction, all right? Even small things which we wouldn't ordinarily notice. Now, as I sat here and I focused, I went, what on earth's triggering this overwhelming chaos of emotions? And I went, well, it's just that I don't have an order. And I went, oh. And I went, wow, I'd never thought of it like that. I never thought about putting it all in an order. I went, okay. So then I went, what are the emotions? So I went, how do I differentiate between the alarm-driven emotions from the main adaptive emotions? And this is where I went back to focus. And I said, okay, where am I focused? And these emotions that are now sitting off to the side, what are they that isn't focused? And I just went, if I add the order into that, then it's just making me, they all feel like they're out of order. Okay, so if they're feeling like they're out of order, what do I need to do? So then it says evaluation. So I sat down and noticed the differences between ways of making sense of reality which are alarm-driven versus more adaptive goals associated with main mode. Now that sounds like a lot of work. But basically for me, I just went, okay, I'm evaluating what's happening with these chaotic emotions compared to I am focused. And I went, what order do they need to go in for me? What order will they make sense? And this was a really pivotal question for me, do I need to pay any attention to these emotions? Like, are they valid or not? And I went, well, for me, they're not. Then the defining, identifying which goals come out of thoughtful consideration and separating them from alarm-based goals. So I then asked the question, what are my goals that I want to achieve, not in the next day or week, but just in the next hour? And how do they differentiate from the alarm-driven emotions? The alarm-driven emotions made me feel like I had to have everything done right now or I wasn't good enough. And I went, okay, well, that's not true. So I planned out what my next hour was going to be if I could focus, just keep focused on 1 hour. And it made the world of difference how I was perceiving the chaotic emotions. Options: identifying and pursuing adaptive choices and separating them from alarm-based behaviours. In simple terms, that means, do I respond to the chaotic emotions, which are saying, do everything now or you're not good enough? Or do I respond to, no, I'm focused and my value is that I actually, today, my value comes around being focused on what I need to achieve in the next hour. And it really did separate the chaos and put it off to the side again. So every step through this, the chaotic emotions kept getting put to one side as I asked questions, and there's nothing like a good question to really separate everything out as to what we need to be focused on or what I value in the next hour. I value even rest. We can value rest, all right? If I need a rest, we're going to sit down and have a rest, because when we're going from recovery to remission, one of the things we have to teach ourselves is to slow down and rest, because our biology and neurology need time to change and adapt as well. I'm learning to put that into practice. Okay, so making is the last one. We want to note where we are making a proactive, positive contribution by getting out of alarm mode and back into main mode. That's a really long way of saying, for me, it was a really long way of saying, okay, give myself credit that I'm actually doing this, that I'm making a choice to put the chaos to one side and go, that's not part of who I am. It's not part of my authentic self. It's not part of my value. It's not part of what I'm valuing in my day-to-day life now, here, right in this minute now. And as I slowed down and went, right, I'm valuing what I need to do just in this one next hour and focus on that, then everything started to shift away. And it really is an internal shift. It's not external. And as we practice this more and more and more, and instead of our alarm system going off, what will happen is it's just like, okay. And we then regain our ability to value and focus on our values and value our ability to change up our life, our day-to-day life, all right? And go, yes, I can do this. I am good enough. I do qualify to sit here and just, separate these emotions and work through deeper issues for me. Okay, take the freedom technique, use it. Okay, you can use this and journal each night, all right? And even if you're having trouble sleeping, you can use it to help separate the chaos that comes at sleep time and go, no, I value sleep. One of my values is restful sleep, okay? And so I'm going to shift all of this off to the side. I'm going to go through the freedom technique, and I am going to take charge instead of the alarm driving my ability to go to sleep. And look, sometimes I do. Sometimes I'm able to say, right, that's it, sleep time, let's go. And other times I'm not. So I value having something like this that I can work through. Okay, I hope this helps today. I hope it helps put things in an order so that we can regain and we can learn emotional regulation. And then we're also able to teach our kids and the future generations that come after us. I wish you well in your recovery to remission journey today. And I will see you tomorrow for a beautiful, beautiful Friday. And thanks for tuning in. Bye for now.